First of all, a big thank you to Michiel for inviting me here to speak to you today. I am here, although yes, you're watching a video, so I'll be able to answer your questions. I think everybody here will be familiar with the Scan4Transport data elements encoded as a GS1 element string into usually a data matrix like this. If you have a specialist application, you can scan that GS1 data matrix, you can extract the Scan4Transport data elements, you can present them to the user, you can provide whatever functionality is necessary, both in the app and in whatever back-end system it's connected to. If you encode those same Scan4Transport data elements in a GS1 Digital Link URI and put them in a QR code, you could put them in a data matrix as well, by the way. The syntax and the kind of code are independent of each other, but let's keep it simple. GS1 Digital Link URI in a QR code. And if you have a specialist Scan4Transport app, you can take out the Scan4Transport data elements, you can present them to the user, and the app can do whatever it needs to do with that identified item. In other words, whether you use the GS1 element string syntax or the GS1 Digital Link URI syntax, in terms of a specialist Scan4Transport application, they are functionally equivalent. Doesn't matter which one you use the one you prefer. Here's an example of an app. This is the one that Mark Harrison created. I expect you've all seen this. This is one that I think actually only works with the Digital Link syntax. It could work with either. It extracts the data elements from the barcode, presents it to you, and because now you're in an app, of course, it can do lots of other things. You'll notice this one has a geolocation. If I click that geolocation, I get a map showing me where I could be. If I look at the GS1 element string syntax in a data matrix, my Samsung phone can read data matrix just with the native camera, which is potentially helpful, yeah? If I point my Samsung camera phone at a Scan4Transport data matrix, it can read it, and it says, oh, I found some text here. What do you want to do with it? I've got three options. I can look at all the text, because the first thing didn't fit on the screen. I can search for it on the web, or I can copy it. That's it. So yeah, my Samsung phone can read a GS1 data matrix, but it actually doesn't know what to do with it. Scan this one. Whatever phone you've got, just open the camera, scan this, and oh, big surprise, you're going to be taken to a web page that gives you information about where this shipment is. It's on its way to you, be with you soon, or whatever information you want to give. Is that it? Is that really the only advantage between GS1 element string syntax and GS1 Digital Link URI syntax, that you can put it in a QR code and someone can scan it and they get taken to a web page? I think we can do better than that. This is a Scan4Transport Digital Link URI that you can all scan. Please do. Please do take out your phone, just use the camera and scan this. It's going to take you to Twitter. And the experience you're going to get will depend on a few different factors. This is a very, very simple demo. I haven't taken account of all the options. It's just I want to show you one particular feature that you may not be aware of that we can do with the GS1 Digital Link ecosystem. If you have an iPhone, and if you have the Twitter app installed on your iPhone, I think I'm right in saying that Twitter app just opened and it's got a draft tweet ready for you to send that says Scan4Transport. If you have a different kind of phone, or you don't have the Twitter app installed, and you scan this, it's going to take you to the twitter.com website. And if you have an account, it's going to open up the draft tweet ready for you to send that says Scan4Transport. So slightly different. It either opens the app if it's there, or it takes you to the web page if you haven't got the app. If you don't have a Twitter account, or you're not logged into an account you may have, then I think it probably just takes you to the Twitter homepage. Something not very helpful. But all three of those cases takes you to Twitter. We can make this a bit more sophisticated. We can make sure that whichever kind of phone you get, if you've got the right app installed, it will open. We can make sure that it takes you to either the App Store or the Play Store if you need to. There's quite a lot of interactivity you can provide by redirecting to the right place for that particular user. And so you don't have to start with an app, right? You're just using the camera. Oh, there's a QR code. Let me scan it, see what happens. And if what you want to happen is a particular app to open or a particular kind of app to open, then that's what will happen. So a lot of flexibility there that could get you, your customers, your business partners, just from the phone's camera to something more powerful. I've used the phrase specialist app a couple of times. What do we mean by specialist app in this context? Well, again, just for clarity, if you have no app at all and you scan a GS1 Scan4Transport Digital Link URI, lots of words there, then it's very easy to be taken to a simple web page, and of course from that web page you could, that could be a jump off point for lots of other things. You get what you're given, and what you're given could be really useful. So that might be all you want to do. You can do that with a GS1 Digital Link URI. You can't do that with the GS1 element string syntax. A specialist Scan4Transport application is looking for those Scan4Transport data elements, the ship to address, the ship from address, the dimensions of the package, what kind of service is it, can you leave it unsigned for, and so on. All that information is the kind of thing that a Scan4Transport app is going to be looking for and making use of. But there's another kind of app you could use, which is one that just understands GS1 Digital Link. Those apps could, if you so choose, do everything the Scan4Transport app does, because we've got those data elements encoded following the global standard. So it can do all that. Everything that the specialist Scan4Transport app can do, a GS1 Digital Link web-enabled app can do. But it can also make use of other functionality, just because it's what GS1 Digital Link does. Now, if you'll forgive me, I'm sorry, I'm going to step out of the world of transport just for a minute and use a retail example, because this is the one I've got slides for and it's all set up to do. But with some effort, I could turn this into a Scan4Transport demo time, Scan this with your phone. This contains a GTIN and a serial number, so a serialized product. And if you scan that with a phone, you're going to be taken to a regular web page that tells you about this particular serial number of that GTIN with some information about it, all of which, by the way, is fake. This is just purely done for demos. So that's what you get if you just use your camera on your phone without any specialist application. But if I use a GS1 Digital Link app to scan the same thing, I get taken to the same page, yeah. But now notice that little more information button down the bottom there? That's something this particular app offers. And if I click that, I get a menu of links. Now these links are not in the web page. They are not in the barcode. They're in the resolver. That is the service that sits between the barcode and the application. And it means that as a user, I can say, oh, I know, I want to know more about this company. Let me click that link and there's some information. It could be a link to somewhere else. It could be an API in someone else's system. It could be absolutely anywhere. It's a link. These links don't come from the web page. They don't come from the app. They don't come from the QR code. They're in this service called the resolver. By default, it's, in this example, say it's going to go by default to the track and trace. So again, no app, nothing specialist. It's going to go straight to the track and trace information. But if I do have an app that understands GS1 Digital Link, then, okay, I can ask for something specific. I can say, actually, no, I want the documentation for this, the certificate of origin or whatever it may be, and I can get that. And I can see all those links in the app. It's that ability to go from one code to multiple sources of data. And what the GS1 Digital Link standard allows is for that connection to be something that is easy to discover, easy to manage, and that makes that Scan4Transport, that original Scan4Transport, GS1 Digital Link URI syntax and the QR code, does everything that the other one does, but with more options and more flexibility to link to other sources of data. It also means that the same app works for other things as well. So you're concerned primarily with shipments going from one place to another, I know, but you've got hardware, you've got trucks, you've got containers, you've got conveyor belts, you've got all sorts of things. If those are identified with a GS1 identifier, maybe an asset identifier rather than a shipment identifier, all sorts of things we can do. That same app, that GS1 Digital Link app, can also work with those. So you can find out the maintenance history, you can find out who to call if it goes wrong, you can find out not just where the shipment is, but where the pallet is, where the container is, all those things. Because the same system operates for lots of things, basically anything that carries a GS1 identifier, and not just the shipment. So, to summarize all that, if you have a specialist Scan4Transport app, it frankly doesn't matter whether you use GS1 element string syntax or GS1 Digital Link syntax. The GS1 Digital Link syntax means it's easier to interact with business partners and customers without any app because they can just scan it and get at least something. But if you want to go further than that and provide a jump-off point for multiple things, APIs, certificates, documentation, all the kind of things that goes with the physical shipment, then GS1 Digital Link does have those advantages. We have a lot of help available if you want it. We have free, resilient, production-grade infrastructure. So I am here. I know this is a video, but I'm here to answer any questions. And thank you very much for your time.